You're at a table. The conversation is fine, pleasant even. The weather, the traffic, somebody's holiday. And then someone leans in. Their voice drops just slightly. Did you hear about? And watch what happens to you. You lean in too. You don't decide to. Your body just does it. The boredom is gone. You are suddenly completely awake. Every part of you is now pointed at this one quiet voice, the way a dog points at a rabbit. You are not proud of this. If someone caught you, you'd say you don't really like gossip, that you're not that kind of person, that you were just listening to be polite. You were not being polite, you were starving and someone finally brought food. This is the human. And that lean, that little involuntary tilt toward a lowered voice, is one of the oldest, hungriest, most important things it does. Let's watch it do it some more. The human believes it doesn't gossip. This is the first interesting thing about it. Almost every human asked directly will tell you that gossip is beneath them, that it's a habit of other, lesser people. And then it spends roughly 2/3 of every conversation it has talking about other people. Not ideas, not facts. People. Who did what? Who said what? Who is with whom now and who they used to be with, and what everyone thinks about that. Watch it pretend not to. It lowers its voice for the good part, even when nobody else is in the room. It says, I shouldn't tell you this, immediately before telling you this. It says, I don't want to talk badly about anyone, but... And then it does the thing, the exact thing it just said it didn't want to do. It will read about the private life of a person it has never met, in a country it has never visited, and feel something. Concern, judgment, a strange little flush of involvement, and it cannot stop. Tell a human a secret and ask them to hold it, and you have handed them the heaviest object they will carry all week. The secret pushes outward. It wants to be told. It is almost painful to keep. So here is our question. Why is this animal, which considers itself above gossip, built from the ground up to do almost nothing else? To answer that, we have to leave the dinner table and go back to a time before tables, before words. Back to when your ancestors kept the group together using nothing but their hands. Go back. Not 2 million years this time. Further in feeling, if not in fact. Into the trees and onto the ground beneath them, where your ancestors lived in groups. And living in a group is the whole trick. One ape alone is a snack. An ape in a group is safe. More eyes for the leopard, more hands for the food, more bodies between you and the cold. But a group is not free. A group has a cost. Everyone in it has to be willing to stay. And to keep them willing, the apes do something with their hands. They groom. One ape sits and another picks carefully through its fur. It feels wonderful. There's a real chemical calm that floods the brain when you're groomed. A quiet little wave of, I am safe, I am held, this one is on my side. Grooming is how an ape says you matter to me. It is how trust is built, one strand of fur at a time. But grooming has a problem, a fatal one. It does not scale. Because grooming is one-to-one. You can only groom one other ape at a time, and it takes hours. There are only so many hours in a day. So there is a hard ceiling on how many relationships one ape can physically maintain with its hands. And that ceiling sets the size of the group. A bigger group is safer, but a bigger group needs more grooming to hold it together, and there simply isn't enough time in the day to groom everyone. The group hits a wall. It grows too big to hold itself together by touch, and it splits and shrinks and stays small. For most animals, that is the end of the story. The hands set the limit. The group can never grow past what the fingers can reach. Unless one of these animals found a way to groom more than one other at the same time. A way to reach across the whole group at once. A way to say, "I am on your side," without using its hands at all. And then, cleverest thing your ancestor ever did. It started doing the grooming with its voice. This is one serious idea for where language comes from. Not from poetry, not from naming the stars, from grooming. From the simple animal need to keep a group bonded, scaled up past what hands could manage. The sounds were a way to reach several others at once, to stroke the fur of the whole group from across the fire. And the moment you can bond with sound instead of touch, everything changes. You can groom 3 apes at dinner instead of 1. You can keep up with people you haven't physically seen in days. The ceiling lifts. The group can grow. And a bigger group, held together by talk, beats a smaller group held together by hands. Every time. But now ask the obvious question. If you're using sound to hold the group together, what are you making the sounds about? You are not going to discuss the weather. The weather will not get you eaten. Other people will. Because in a group, the most dangerous thing in your world is no longer the leopard. It's the other apes. Who's reliable? Who takes more than their share? Who keeps their promises and who quietly doesn't? Who's rising? Who's falling? Who's sleeping with whom? And what that's about to do to everyone else. This is information you cannot afford to be without. The ape who knew the social map. Who's trustworthy? Who's not? Survived and thrived. The ape who didn't pay attention got cheated, got abandoned, got left on the wrong side of the group when it mattered. So the brain that won is the brain that finds this stuff irresistible, that perks up at a lowered voice, that treats news about people as the most nourishing thing in the world. Because for 200,000 years it was. Hold that thought. An animal that survives by tracking exactly who can be trusted, and that does it by talking about people. Now, think about the last really good conversation you had. Think about what it was actually about. Not the weather, not ideas, not really. It was about people. Someone's marriage, someone's job, someone who behaved badly and what should be done about them. And it felt wonderful. It felt close. You left that conversation feeling more bonded to whoever you had it with, and that feeling, that warm little sense of being on the same side, is the exact chemical calm your ancestor felt being groomed in the trees. That's what you were doing. You were grooming them, with your mouth. Every "did you hear about" is one ape picking through another's fur. Every secret you can't keep is information trying to do its ancient job. To travel, to map the group, to mark who's safe and who isn't. The lean across the table is not rudeness. It's 200,000 years of, I need to know who can be trusted. Sitting bolt upright the second it smells the data. So here is the truth about the human and its gossip. You're not petty, you're not small, you're not the bad kind of person you quietly worry you might be every time you lean in. You are a social animal running the single piece of software that let your species build groups bigger than any other ape could dream of. Towns, tribes, nations, all of it glued together by exactly one thing. Humans talking about other humans, deciding who's on their side. Gossip didn't ruin the village. Gossip built it. And you are very, very good at it. The human swears again that it's going to rise above all this, that from now on it will discuss ideas. Big ones, important ones. And then, across the room, somebody leans in and drops their voice. And the human is already listening. So are you. You've spent this whole time being told you're a gossiping animal, and some part of you is just waiting to go and tell someone about it. Go on. That's the most human thing you could possibly do. We'll leave you there, leaning in. Next time, we look at another strange habit of this animal, why it lies awake at night, replaying the one embarrassing thing it did in 2009. If you'd like to keep watching the most fascinating creature on Earth, and you do, you really do, subscribe. We post a new specimen every other day. Humans. There's nothing quite like us.